Well, it's Tuesday and we're back at the house finally. It's a little after 2 p.m. right now. Got me a nice cool Buc-ee's to start with. I've got to push this bearing in because they just put it with the resurfaced flywheel and they pounded new lugs in for me, so that's nice. And flywheel's all crisp and fresh. So yeah, I'll palm this in right here. They said you just push it in, but I can tap it in with something, ain't no big deal. Then I'll I'll take and I'll hook it up. I'll roll it in there. I'll jack it up, then I'll get this thing out. This is the clutch I got. It's a Eaton 2-spline, 4-pad ceramic, 8-spring free travel operation, 7 something. Easy pedal, cast. 14-inch. Where did that say it? Packed by Road Ranger support. So this is a 8-9 speed Eaton full Road Ranger transmission. So it's probably the clutch that originally came with the truck from the beginning, from the factory. So that's all good. You know what I mean? I gotta find my koozie in here, and then I got to put that tent up. Find some gloves, get me a fresh piece of cardboard, throw down there so I can, okay, that koozie must be hanging out over there. At least the garage is open. Find my koozie, put that tent up, and then get to it so I can do it. I'd like to get the transmission done, everything stabbed. I want to get in that bell housing and stuff and clean that out though. That's probably what I'll do first before I do anything. So I'll get me a fresh piece of cardboard, I'll throw that chunk down there and I'll just start scraping shit out. And then I'll get that stuff going, so I'll be back. On the show, on the Chad Teagan YouTube channel. After dicking around with this heavy, super heavy flywheel, I pretty much got it up here in position where I should be able to maneuver it in there to where I can start bolting it, hopefully. Sitting up on the jack here at the up and down a handful of times here to do this, but I got to get that strap from the inside out because I had one going through that bearing, pounded that in, and I just got it sitting up here like this. So hopefully it's got enough room for me on this strap to where I can shove it back. If not, I'm going to loosen that bitch up, if you know what I mean. So, but man, yeah, he'd need 2 people. I need someone just fucking, I need a gopher. I need a dummy. That's why I need a dummy, man. Somebody just to stand there and do dumb shit when I tell them to, because I need somebody to do dumb shit, so I don't have to do all the dumb shit, if you know what I mean. clutch is in, finally. It took me a long time. That was hard to get up there. There wasn't a ton of room. It's too heavy for me just to lift up there. So I end up using a bunch of different straps and mechanisms to get it up in there. So I'm gonna put this 2-piece collapsible one in because that just seems to make more sense than running with one of these, or kind of a pain in the ass. This, you just take a Allen wrench up in there and you can take them off and remove them, so you don't have to sit there and beat the hell out of this if you need to replace them. So this is what's going on right now. And then probably gonna clean up some because it's getting dark. Unfortunately, it's later than what I wanted it to be, but at least it's in. And that's one good thing. A bunch of grime and shit that I cleaned up from the bell housing in there. Let's see if I can get you over there at a better spot. The I took that my pilot out because I don't need it in there no more, and I was gonna throw that other one in there. Yeah, let's get down here. Let's just fucking get down here. Yeah, there it is. Oop, there it is. So in the morning I'll stab it, and as long as it's not soaking wet, I may even try to, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get that thing to pull forward, because this concrete is kind of rough and you just can't push it since it's so heavy. So I gotta figure it out. I got to come along and some chains on the back. I probably end up hooking it up to the front axle, and using some kind of ratchet system to drag that bitch forward. And then once I get it close enough, I'll have to be under there to get the linkage, the forks over that throw-out bearing, and I'll be done. And I'll just shove it in there and bolt it on and hook everything else up. It's supposed to storm tonight, so I'll need to check the weather. If I need to pull some stuff in, I obviously move the tent, because I got tired of climbing up there and hitting my head and shit every time I'd go, because I mean, I was up and down a million times today. I mean, look at me, for crying out loud. Yeah, I'm pitch freaking black. I was working in a damn coal mine. It's the hardest thing I ever did. That is the hardest thing I ever did, was putting that clutch in. No room, such a pain in the ass. I used 2-3 straps at a time. I had that jack out here lifting it up, and man, it was such a fucking pain. But I mean, I got it. It took me too many hours. Let's just, needless to say, too many hours. So that's what's up. I'll throw that on there and figure out how I'm gonna move that transmission forward. I'd like to get it stabbed tonight, but it's getting dark, so it's what it is. That's working on trucks, man. That's not trucking, that's working on trucks. You know what I'm saying? You know, we ain't parking nowhere tonight because we parked in the drive. Well, we parked over the sidewalk, man. Come on. Well, I'm getting ready to do it now. Got everything hooked up down here. I'm gonna take a swig of my beer real quick. Need to jack the transmission up some. Because it's low right now, because I'd lowered it to be able to slide it back when it was right back here over these lines and stuff. But I've got a chain back here hooked to the center of it. They will come along, and a chain up there hooked to that, so we are good. And this thing's pulling with ease with this come along. It ain't no big deal. So I'm gonna hook you up somewhere. See right there. Hold on, let me get this light figured out. So let's see, this is where you really want 2 people, because you don't want to have to be doing all this crap yourself, because I can't necessarily see. Okay, I forgot. Well, my chain and my come alongs. Let me see how close I am here. I'm right on the concrete, because there's no cardboard or nothing, right? Looks like I need to come up just a little bit more. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to have to bring the back end up probably. And I don't know, that's kind of how it came out though. But nice thing is I can turn the back of that yoke back here to line that thing up if I need to, you know what I mean? You just shove that in that. That'll put those splines right where they need to be once you start to get it in there. This is a two-person job, but you can do it. One person can do it. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just getting the shit in there, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna jack it up just a little bit more. One more jack. I think I'll be somewhat satisfied. Okay, let's try that. Let's get the head in here and see how it goes. Cause that okay, hold on. Let me get the chunk of fucking cardboard out of the way here. Okay, so we may need to go up or come down because we're starting to poke that and we don't like that. So let's jack it up some and then we'll start wiggling and wobbling. That's where always one guy behind the jack doing certain moves and stuff while the other guy was telling him up, down, left, right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. You know what I mean? I'm stuck. Okay, I'm not stuck no more. I got stuck. Okay. Now, to figure out which way this thing needs to go. Looks like it's pointed straight up there. So I need to drop the front end down and bring the back. We got that much to go. It's just not wanting to go. And it's being a pain in the butt. I'm done for tonight because it's so dark. I cleaned everything up because I think it may rain. It's calling for it. Who knows if it will or not. So I'll throw the tent back over here and cover all that shit up at least. That way if it does rain, I don't get all wet, get the shit all wet. But I've got just a little bit more to go. Tomorrow we'll tackle it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, wrong fucking thing. I went to grab the light. I grabbed this instead. Yeah. Well, it's let's see, Wednesday morning, maybe 6:30ish. Tried to set that last night. You seen that? I think the pilot bearing's off a little bit from the input shaft. That's why it's not going in all the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to find the light here. Where it is at. Where the fuck did I put it? There it is. Got him. I'm gonna look up in there. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna go and take one of the bolts out of the top, run to Menards. I'm gonna get 2 long 3/8 bolts, cut the heads off. I can't get anything that's just straight. And then I'm gonna shove them in there and use those as a guide, and I'll back everything off of the bolts and make sure that it's okay, because that's the problem I've got right now, is it's not okay when I go to shove this in, because this thing should be going all the way in, no problem. But we got problems, so I don't like problems. Let's get up in here. Yeah. So everything's straight on here. Let's see if I can get you up in here. Everything's straight on in here, except that pilot at the back there. It looks like it's a little bit lower at the bottom than the top, and that's why the shaft's not going in all the way. And if it is going in, it's just hitting and catching, because that thing should have slid right in there, no problem. So that's what I'm gonna do, because that's my only option of that I see is to do that, because those, yeah, those are straight on, those splines. That thing should run straight up in there. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull one of the top ones out probably. Everything else is secure. And then I got my 2 little wood blocks to put back in the throw out bearing here to make sure that it's okay. You know, this ain't easy for one guy, but it'll be done. It's gonna be done today by me. I can tell you that much right now. So let's pull one of these bolts real fast, probably get some more thread lock. And that way I can go to the store, take this, and make sure it's completely right, if you know what I mean. Well, I'm back. I got these 4.5 inch 3/8 bolts here. This should be plenty. I'm gonna open them up and start sticking them in one at a time. And I don't need no thread lock or anything like that, because basically what I want to do is drive that thing in there. Why aren't you going in? Okay, it is. I need to go grab a wrench real quick, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a wrench, because I don't necessarily need to drive these in with well, I can't baby chalk you. Basically just doing it to where they're tight. I've got these 2 little pieces of wood here. I'm going to stick behind this throw out bearing here. That way the clutch will depress when I pull these bolts out. So get these all out. I got 6 of them. That's all I need. 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, I got 6. So 2 of them ain't gonna have one, but that's okay, because I just need them basically to be able to slide the clutch back to be able to align it better. And I'm gonna stick that input shaft in there before I get too crazy and back things out. That way it's in completely. So let's grab it real quick. I'm just gonna stick you right to on the transmission, so hopefully you can see this. I don't know what you can see, how crappy this part's gonna be or anything like that. Oh yeah, that slid right in, no problem. Okay, now that's as far as I can get it in, but that's about perfect. That's how that transmission was slid in, just like that. Now it won't go back anymore, and the problem is that it's catching, it's not going into that throw-up bearing. And I know that because I got my eye up there, look, and I showed you also. Plus, I can't get this thing to go back in any farther. It's not like you can get that to turn that much. So that's fine right there. And I could turn this. You can turn this freely, but I need to have it in gear, which I didn't have in gear. So I was able to turn this while it was in there, even though it shouldn't have been turning any. You know what I mean? Because that's as far as I can go with this, which is fine. That's just that plate going against it. So let's start backing some of these out here. And we'll put one in its place every time we take one out. We'll need to like tighten it. Actually, let's see if we can get this one right here to come out. And then I'll put this guy in its place. because I'm gonna have to move the whole thing. This is gonna have to slide out for me to be able to lift it up to be able to get that pilot bearing completely centered like I need it to be. And I should get some tape or something to hold this shit in here real quick, because I gotta fucking hold them both up there once I get ready. Once I probably pull okay, so now every single one is pretty much got one off. So once I start pulling these, this thing's gonna end up pushing out. Yeah, let me go get something real quick. Hold on, folks, I'll be right back, just to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm gonna sit there and hold the shit up there with one hand, if you know what I mean. All right, I'm back. Give me a big piece of black duct tape to throw up under here real quick. That should hold them up in there. Hopefully. Come on. Why don't you just stick to it for me? Of course, because it's all dirty and shit. Probably. You know, it's this fucking kidding me. All right, hopefully I can do this quick enough to where that'll stay. I'll start plopping some of these bolts out. Okay, see that just moved back some? That's what I was talking about. Okay, now this is free. Let's see if we can, oh, there we go, just like that. Now that thing moved back even farther than what it was before. Now, I should be able to get that thing slide right in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting these bolts back in. I should have done one of the bottom ones first, but that actually looks better than what it did yesterday. And I'm almost positive that that bitch is in there where it needs to go. What I'm hoping at least. So let's put these bolts in one at a time, and I'm gonna put some new thread on them. And then I'll take that out once I get it secured. Well, what I'll do is I'll put probably one in each slot, and then I'll pull that out and look before I get too crazy. Of course, I gotta cut the fucking tip off of it. Oh, a little more juice than what Chatty Boy needed. get these started by hand real quick, and then we'll get you a different view here, maybe from back in this region. I don't know, hopefully that transmission's not in the way. Get some of these started. I'll pull out probably this bottom one right here. I don't know how much weight's on it. I don't think there's too much weight on that one. And then I'll probably put that one in first. Yeah, it should be fine just to come out, because I've got one in each of the other ones. Well, like I was saying yesterday, this is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. This is probably the hardest thing I'll ever do. Yeah, that's tight now, so that's not moving, period. So once I start screwing these in, that'll compress again. And so those wood blocks would probably plop out. Probably just did right there. Yeah, that's free now. So what I'm going to do is okay, so you gotta wiggle that thing just out a little bit there to get that to come out, because I bet that shaft was in that fucking hole perfectly. Let's see. Huh. Looks exactly the same as it did before. Huh, you've got to be kidding me. Same amount of grease on that thing. Alright, let's see what's all up in here. I don't get this. Let's put some grease on this, and we'll see if we can get a mark from the grease blob, and then we'll go from there. If there's a big grease blob right there that I want to use on the tip of this. So that's my grease blob right there. So now I'm going to shove this thing back in and see if where it's touching at, where it's not touching at, because that's a good you know, weighs, that's a good 1/4 inch blob on that thing. Okay, so that bad boy slides right in there, no problem. Come on. Get up in there. Yeah, once it gets like yeah, the blob doesn't look like it moved at all. Period. So I don't get it why this ain't going in there all the way back to the pilot. It's really pissing me off. This method should have worked here to guide this thing. No, there's no, okay, there's barely any grease on that, just the tip. And those are perfectly lined up. Those splines are perfectly lined up. So I don't get what's going on here. Why that thing's down so low. Okay, we're gonna try this until we get it in there, because we got to get it in there. So that's what we're gonna do. We got to get it in there. All right, welcome back. So we got this right here. That spot right there. You see that lip right there? That is back there on that pilot bearing. So I believe we're good to go. So now I need to moved some shit around. I put all new lock washers on the bolts here, retightened everything. So now I need to move this stuff out the way and turn my situation around, because what I got going on here is I've got to come along and a couple chains strapped to different spots. And I'll take you back here real quick. But yeah, that thing come out super stiff once I did get it to slide out. It pulled right out easy, but it's stiff at the beginning. And my suggestion would be to cut this section off right here, so you can stick this through the pilot bearing when you get your clutch lifted up, and then you can just drive the whole thing home and not have to worry about dicking around with stupid shit and doing what Chad did. It's crazy because it honestly looks like it's exactly at the same spot it was before, like nothing changed. So I guess that's the pain in the butt problem that we're gonna have here, but that's trucking, and that's maintenance on an old truck. And it's supposed to rain here sometime, so hopefully I can at least get this thing stabbed. But yeah, to pull it back, I've got this situation going on right here, which I need to loosen up this come along and get it out of here. I got a chain hooked up to this right here, and then I got it hooked up to this right here, these push and pull bars. So what I do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go like this. Now, I'll get that open first. Just start pulling this out here, because I need to loosen it up, and he just went for a ride. So once I get this loose enough, I can pull his chain off of it here. And that's just not loose enough yet. So I wish there was a button, easy button on the side that you could just do this with, but you can't. So I'll lay back here like this, unhook this chain from here, because I'm going to take this one and it's going up in the front with me when I hook the front section up. Pull this guy down, chuck him up there, unhook the come along real quick. Throw him right there, because I might have to loosen him up some, and then unhook these, because this is what I wrap around the front steer axle, and that's what, get out of there. That's what the chain I hooked to. Now the come along makes light work of this stuff. It's not super pulling on anything or anything like that. Here's my release, here's my jack for this. Once I start moving it forward, I'll jack it up some, but that's what's going on for now. Get some new gloves because these ones are blowed out. Maybe a swig of that coffee. It's cold, but it still tastes good. It's too early for beer. It's like maybe 8 o'clock, 8:30 now. Well, I've got the transmission in gear. I've got it shoved up this far right here, and I can't get it to go anymore by just shoving it. I jacked it up to where it should be going straight in now. You can rock it back and forth like so. It looks like those head bolts are about right on, and this thing ain't moving. So I basically took this crowbar, stuck it in there, and plopped it into gear, because you need that into gear. That way your input shaft spins with that output shaft yoke. And I know these are a bunch of terms that Chad's not a mechanic, but he knows this stuff, because that's what they're called. That's what his buddies call them, so that's what the terms are. I'm gonna hook you up back here on this so you can get a maybe over the shoulder POV look of what I've got going on here. Basically got a chain to the jack right in this region, and then I've got a chain and the come along going to the front steering axle. So basically just trying to get this thing to pull forward now. and go the rest of the way in. Because for some odd reason, this bitch just does not want to go though. We get these back wheels here straight, so they're straight and it's going in straight. But I'm hung up on something, and this is what the problem I had yesterday night. The last night when I was doing this, I got hung up on something, and I can't necessarily get this ass in to go up anymore because I think it's bottomed out here. Maybe I can. I don't know if that was taking it up or down, but the tires are at least all straight now, so it should be able to roll right in there. So I'm going to try and make it go with this, but if I can't get it to go, I don't know what's going on here. Get my forks and everything ready, because when I do get it to go in, I want those forks to go over that throwout bearing, and I don't want to have to pull this thing out and do it again. So once I get it going, I can make sure they're good, because they basically need to go over it. That way when you're pushing the clutch, it depresses that stuff, or it presses it in, whatever term you want to use. Okay, so this is all tight here. This thing should be rolling forward, so I'm going to get up there and I'm going to try and bounce it around a little bit. And yeah, this looks like it's completely flush and level with it, so once it does go, it should go right in. Because the only thing I would think of is that it's at an angle like this, and it's trying to go in, and it needs to be like this. That's all I can think of. So we'll see here what happens when I get out and bounce around on. I just need a little bit of give here for this to go, if you know what I mean. And this is why everybody uses two people for this part right here. I mean, yeah, it can be done, but it's somewhat of a pain in the butt. So let's see if this thing is tight and not moving anywhere. I almost wonder if I should try and lift up on the back of this to get it to go. I don't get it, but yeah, I can't turn this yoke at all, so it ain't the yoke. And if I jack it up, I don't think that, I mean, it feels like the ass end's coming up, so maybe I just need the ass end to go up some more. Okay, it's not. It's still not going in anymore. Yeah, those bolts look like they'd be about perfect. They just need twisted a little bit, which you can still move this around some, but this motherfucker just doesn't not want to go in. A lot of people take their feet on the back like this, what my buddy does. I don't know how he does it, but he gets down here and he shoves. He puts his ass down there and he just shoves it in. So I don't know what's going on. It's fucking stuck. You don't think it's hanging up on anything under the truck. Almost thought about getting a ratchet and lifting up the ass and some. That way maybe I can, because I can't get this thing to spin up anymore. Okay, maybe it will, but let me get down there. My gloves are freaking completely dirty, so I'm gonna turn you off real quick, but I'll come back once I get this. Well, I'm as close as I've ever been right now. I've got about an inch right here to go to shove that in. My fork's already over the throwout bearing, so I'm all I need to do is get this bitch in that pilot bearing and I'm good. So I'm gonna jerk around on this. Unfortunately, I've got it as tight as I can with the chain right now. It just tightened up, so I know that's probably what it is that pilot bearing. So I'm gonna jerk around on this and see if I can't get this thing to plop in there. I may need to jack it up a little bit because it's a little twisted here, but I don't like, just don't want to fucking go. And I can't get it over this way anymore. I don't believe. I'm gonna try and jack it up to see if that'll line that up anymore. Still, that gets those bolts almost on my. I still need to come up just a little bit more, it looks like, and that might be the only problem there. So it's close, but there's no cigar yet, and this is the closest I've been yet, because I've never thrown that fork up over yet. I've never even got it that close, so I can't just shove it in. So I'm gonna climb down there and crank on it, and hopefully when I come back, I'll say we got it. Got him. Had to climb under and finagle with the jack. It was just twisted around to where I couldn't get the thing to go. Now either one of two things happen. That push that pilot bearing out, which I doubt that's gonna happen, or it finally went into where it needed to go. I've never been that close on the stuff. I got my forks over already, so I'm good on that. I just need to push that thing back and crank it all the way in. Twist it around, put some bolts in, which once it gets in, I can do that. Ain't a big deal. So let's show you how it's done here with a little bit of cranking action. You know what I mean? I'll try and slide over. I don't know how much you can see this right here. See that gap right in there? There you go. I'll get you right there where my finger's at. Now it's wanting to be tight again. Yeah, it just went in a second ago. This is the farthest it's been so far. Well, may have to get out, finagle some stuff here, make sure everything's kosher. I should just be able to push this bitch right in, but when it gets to the pilot bearing, it was super tight right towards the end. So I'm just happy. That's the closest I've got it. So I've got no complaints, and that's right there. So it'll pull that baby right back. And by the time I get in there, that thing should be adjusted perfectly to where I don't need to do anything else. I'm measuring the gaps here, so let me get out and bump some stuff around up there. Pretty much got to wiggle wobble and do the shimmy. Well, we entered the truck, folks, and let me show you something real quick. Got this to go in. What was going on was the old let me find the light here for you. The clutch forks that go around the throwout bearing weren't rotated down, so when you do this by yourself or with somebody else, you got to rotate these down. That's right there, that handle. That's that bolt right up there that I use for, that's the pedal bolt to adjust it. So I'm in here and I'm checking this, and I've got my wife in the truck right now. I'm gonna put that. Here we go. We got a 1/2 inch right here in between here. That's the gap you want for a clutch that is properly spaced. Go ahead and push it in. And bada bling, bada bloom. That is all the way in. Go ahead and let it out. So that's what's up. That there you go. Whoa. So I called up James Pretty and I started talking to him, and I asked him, I said, dude, I got this thing the farthest I've got it in because I couldn't get it to go in the throwout bearing or the pilot bearing to save my life. You get down now if you want to. And finally I got that thing to go in, so I got it as far as I could get it, and had got it in the last 2 days of pushing it in, pulling it out. And I forgot the fork, so I had to jack it back one time. But it wasn't no big deal. And then I couldn't get it, and I'm like, dude, it's like I got this much room to go, and it's just something's catching, it's tight, and I pulled it back and I pushed it forward and whatnot, And finally, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna call him, because I know he's in class right now. He's not, you know, in class or anything like that. He's probably just sitting around. So I called him, I FaceTimed him, and we started talking. He's like, dude, you got to rotate that fork when you go in, or it's gonna catch. He's like, as many transmissions as I've changed, he says, I do that every time and I forget about it. And I'm like, well, I got my forks over, I didn't realize that I need to rotate them down. He says, well, go in there and see if you can grab it. So I grabbed the camera and the light and got up under there and did that. And that's what it was. So as soon, while I was on camera with him, I just cranked it and went right in. So then I had to rotate the transmission because it was twisted over to be able to get the bolts in. So I hooked up a ratchet strap up there, and I basically had a chain to one of the things over there, and I pulled it up. Yeah, I got some happy tears running down my face, because this is the hardest thing I've ever done by myself, and this is a real accomplishment right here. So now, before it starts to rain, I'm gonna get these chains and stuff off here, because I don't need them on. I can finally move that jack down. Got all the bolts and stuff in and everything tightened around the transmission. What I want to do is I want to get this half shaft put in. That way that's not getting wet, because it is supposed to rain pretty soon. So I can drop the transmission jack, pull my shit out, hook that up at least, because then I've got two little air lines to hook up right here. And the one airline that goes right here that I've got strapped somewhere, I think it's right here. So that guy and those two, and then I got to hook up the air dryer hoses right here, and fire this thing up and maybe move it around under its own power, and we good. So, well, she climbed out and she slid out while camera was back here. I was hoping to get some booty shots. Apparently not today. Maybe later for Big Daddy. None for you though. So that's what's going on. It can be done with just some straps, a come along transmission jack, chunk of concrete, and you don't really need a ton of room. It can be done. Like getting the transmission in, I've got some time-lapse stuff on the other GoPro. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but yeah, cheers to you boys. It's done. So once I get everything cleaned up and whatnot and buttoned up, I'll bring you back when we move it off the concrete. But yeah, it's super soft. I can push it in with my hand just like I can Frank, and that's why I wanted the Eaton clutch. The Eaton clutch cost me $7.89. This OTR crap that Fleet Pride offers cost $4.80 or something like that. And right in here, I was breaking teeth off, and I couldn't even adjust this with this bolt, because you got to press in on that. But it doesn't matter. You can just tap on that thing to get it loosened up, and you can do it. So what I would have to do is take a screwdriver and crank it. And when I knew something was wrong, when I had it adjusted correctly and the thing wouldn't go into gear or move, and I had that trouble with it. So basically I need to put this back on also, because this is the transmission shaft right here that goes down here. This part goes up towards the front, which you've seen me unhook that before. Goes up right in here to the AU joint, and then just runs back through there and goes through there. But yeah, everything else is hooked up. I'll probably throw some grease on that throw-out bearing, and then we're good to go. So I just got to button a few things up. I'm sorry I didn't, like, you know, get you more into detailed stuff. It's just, I'm one guy. Like, this is a huge job. I would not recommend doing this by yourself unless you got the juice and you know you can do it, or you got something to prove, which I didn't have something to prove to anybody else but myself, because like I said before, how fitting, I bought this truck to learn on so I could learn things. I'm not a mechanic. I was never mechanically trained, but the things I've learned from working on this truck myself and doing things myself, I would never learn if I paid someone to do this. And that would have probably been close to a $4,000 bill from the shop if I would have wanted that clutch, if they would have had to run and get that flywheel resurfaced. But when I was talking to James, he said if I pulled out one of those old flywheels, I'd chuck and I'd get a new flywheel, just the flat ones, and then I'd probably get a bigger clutch, which I could have done. I just didn't. So the next time, if I ever do this again, that's what's going to happen. We'll probably get a bigger clutch, because that flywheel could handle another inch of, you know, 15-inch clutch. But honestly, that 14-inch clutch, as soft as that was, I can push that in with my left hand. Now, there's no way in hell I would have ever been able to do that before with the other one. So there, that's all the way to the floor, and that's with my left hand. So that's going to be super soft. Let's walk over to Frank real quick, because when I was talking to James, I told him what I'd do is I'd hook the linkage up and stuff. He's like, make sure you do all that before you know, just take everything apart. That way you know it's good. And I'm like, well, Frank's got the same Eaton easy pedal, so Frank's is a little bit harder, but yeah, that's about the same resistance as what's over there. So both of them got Eatons. Both of them got Eaton transmissions. One thing at a time, boys. One thing at a time. I'm only one guy, and that's how I like to roll. Don't have no dads, don't have no buddies. I mean, I got buddies. My buddy would have came over no problem and helped me do this. He already told me what. I called him yesterday and asked him a few questions once I got the clutch in, the guy that replaced it and put that one in. But yeah, he would have came over. But let's get off here so I can get some things cleaned up and get this thing moving around. All right, let's go out and see if that truck will move. Basically hooked everything up. We got 6 minutes left, so we're gonna make it quick. Probably have to cut you out and bring you back. That's what I'm gonna have to do probably. But just poured. Figured I'd take a shower before I climbed up in the truck, so let's at least fire it up. Had to move that shifter linkage around a little bit, because I had it could get to go into like 3rd gear. Okay, that should be better. If not, it'll be better. But man, that thing is so soft, it's not even funny. Not even funny. Let's fire it up. Yeah. Let the air build, and we'll stick that old. Rattle a little bit. There's some sleeves that come with for the rattle that I didn't put in. Never seen them before, so it's first time. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's move this thing real quick. Let me get you hooked up on the old transponder book here, and we'll see what's good. Gear. So there's these plates that come with this clutch, and need to put my thing over, because I need to fix that real quick before I can move, because I can't get it to go in reverse. So same as the first, going in reverse, because my linkage is sloppy. I'll be back. All right, I got my pedal better, so or my shifter, I'm in reverse here now. A little jerky. It's a little herky-jerky. I'm not used to this, because I'm used to that stiff-ass clutch, you know what I mean? So, let's get it up a little bit here. Let's get it up. Nice to be moving this thing under its own power. Oh, a sheer tree here. I don't even think about that thing. I'm just trying to not to hit Frank. Did have some rain come through. And took down one of the little trees out front. Probably gonna lose you, I can tell you that much right now, because we don't have very much time left, but we're about to be done. Boom. Oh my god, it's so soft and so easy. I shouldn't go down the road, because I don't necessarily want to get the thing all dirty, but does need a bath. Slides in so easy. No grind whatsoever. There may be, I may need to back it off some because it is so good. I don't know if we'll slip or not, but I haven't even hit the high gears or not. There's a little tree over here that we lost. I don't know if you can see it or not. Nope. That's all right. Shifter will come back some. I know that much. But hey, we're on. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Bag of business, baby. Back in business. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Can do anything. Woo! Turbo's just singing. Slow down here. Shifter needs to come back some. Oh yeah, I barely got to push in that clutch to pull that thing out of gear. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Get her home and check everything out. Let's make a complete stop. So soft. So now what I'll do is I'll wash the chalk and I'll climb under there and I'll do a final inspection on it. And I'll start booking loads. It's ready to go. Make sure all my bolts are tight and shit like that, you know what I mean? One more once over. Once this dries up here, you can clean up my mess anyways from the section of concrete that I dirtied up. And make sure that everything else is, you know, right in here. You can see where the tires were, where it's at. Make sure nothing else is in here. Clean up that little old drip and then all that grime and stuff on here. That way we got people coming over, they ain't walking into stuff. But yeah, other than that, I'd say it's good to go. Successful mission for doing that. That was a tough job, but it's ready to rock and roll. It's dirty now because I ran it in the rain, obviously, but that's trucking, man. That is trucking. Ain't worried about nothing. Well, just got the old truck all washed up here, nice and clean. Adjusted the linkage again to where I knew I was happy. Well, I at least adjusted it. Threw some grease up under the throw out bearing because it hadn't had any, and then I washed her down, made sure I got all the grease and nasty stuff off there that I had on there, because I had a little bit of nasty stuff on there. Also adjusted that pedal, that way I've got more pedal. The linkage, that bolt on the side, made sure that was good to go. And I guess we'll just wait for some loads to come around tomorrow, since it's 5:30 in the afternoon and it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So you know what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be chilling the rest of the night, relaxing and drinking with good mind and ready to go. We'll need to clean up the garage a little bit. I pressure washed the sidewalk over there. Still got to load my tools back in the truck and stuff like that since I got them all out, but I can wait till tomorrow. I could care less. I figure if I get a load for tomorrow, I'll load the shit up and we'll go. Till then, you know what we say. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. It was a struggle, but I did it all by myself. I did use 2 lifelines, actually 3, two to James Pretty and one to my buddy Josh that installed the clutch the last time on the truck in 2019. Called him up yesterday to make sure everything was kosher when I put the clutch in, because the little boards dropped down and it went click. So I needed to make sure everything was cool with that. And then I talked to James a little bit yesterday, and then I talked to James again today because that whole fork situation. But other than that, man, it really wasn't too bad. It's a lot of heavy lifting with a space, but it can be done. I can pretty much change that clutch out anywhere if I use that small section of concrete to do it here at the house. As long as there's asphalt or concrete, I can probably do it. So that's how much space I need to change out a clutch right here. That to that, that's the section. So, and a lot of this I didn't even use. I just used basically right here where those dots are at and stuff, and then, you know, that's trucking. So until then, you know what we say, we will see. If you don't like it, go truck yourself.
What do you think you're doing? Playing with kids? What do you think you're doing? Playing with kids? What do you think you're doing? Playing with kids?
What do you think you're doing? Playing with kids?